Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Qa'day akhirah, al-qa'datul akhirah means the final sitting. In the final sitting of the prayer, we recite at-tahiyyat til wa rasuluh. This is called tashahhud. Then we recite the durood Ibrahimi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, Allahumma barik ala Muhammad, etc. And we recite the dua, Rabbi ja'alni muqima salati wa min dhurriyyati rabbana wa taqabbal dua ila akhirih, till the end. If one forgets the final sitting, what is the ruling? So if he, for example, he was offering 4 fard of Isha, he stood for the 5th rakat. In this case, if he remembers his mistake whilst being near sitting, in this case he will return back to sitting, complete his prayer as normal. He will recite tashahhud, durood sharif dua, complete his prayer as normal. But if he remembers whilst being near standing, then in this case he will return, sit, recite tashahhud til wa rasuluh, and give 1 salam to the right side, and he will perform 2 prostrations of forgetfulness, sajda sahab, begin at-tahiyyat again, durood sharif dua, and complete his prayer by giving salam both sides. Why will he do sajda sahab in the end? Because he delayed the final sitting, and the final sitting of the prayer is fard, obligatory, and to delay a fard action of the prayer results in sajda sahab, prostration of forgetfulness, becoming necessary in the end of the prayer. So he will perform sajda sahab in the end, his prayer will be valid. Now if he performs the sajda of the extra rakat he added, for example, 4 fard of Isha or Asr, he performs the sajda of the 5th rakat. He didn't sit in the final sitting, he stood for the 5th and he performed the sajda of the 5th. In this case, the fard prayer will change into nafal, and he will add another rakat, he will complete 6 nafal, and he will offer the fard prayer again. He will offer the fard again. If he performs the sajda of the 5th rakat and he hadn't sat in the final sitting, he missed the final sitting, he stood for the extra rakat and he performed the sajda of the extra rakat. In this case, his prayer will become nafal. He will add another prayer. If he was offering 3 fard of Maghrib, he performed the sajda of the 4th rakat. He didn't sit after 3 and recite til wa rasuluh. In this case, he will not add another rakat, he will complete 4 units, because nafal is not offered in odd numbers. So he will complete 4 units. He will not add the 5th rakat, he will complete 4, and he will offer the 3 fard of Maghrib, because those 4 rakats units he offered are not considered fard. So if he was offering 4 fard of Asr or Isha or Zohar, he stood for the 5th rakat, he performed the sajda of the 5th rakat, and then he remembered, he will add another rakat, complete 6 nafal, and offer the fard again. But if he remembers before performing the sajda of the extra rakat, he can return back, recite tashahhud, give salam and perform sajda sahab, etc. His prayer will be valid. Now if he had sat in the final sitting and recited til wa rasuluh, and then he stood, thinking this was the first sitting, mistakenly he stood. Same mas'ala, if he remembers before performing the sajda of the extra rakat, he will sit, recite at-tahiyyat. He will not recite at-tahiyyat, because he had already recited at-tahiyyat before he stood. So he will sit, give salam to the right side, perform the 2 prostrations of forgetfulness, recite at-tahiyyat again, durood sharif dua, and complete his prayer by giving salam both sides. Why will he perform sajda sahab? Because he delayed the final salam. He should have given salam after completing tashahhud, durood sharif dua, but he delayed the final salam, hence he will perform sajda sahab in the end. But if he had sat in the final sitting, he recited til wa rasuluh, then he stood for the extra rakat and he performed the sajda of the extra rakat, his fard will not become nullified, because he fulfilled the fard of sitting in the final sitting. So his fard will not become nullified, but he will add another rakat. yeah, and complete that rakat and perform sajda sahab in the end. The two he added now will be considered two nafal, and the fard prayers he had offered will be considered fard prayers of that salah offered. They will be considered offered, and the two he added will be considered two nafal, and in the end he will perform sajda sahab because he delayed the final salam. Okay? And to delay a wajib action of the prayer results in sajda sahab becoming necessary wajib. Yeah? He delayed the final salam, which is wajib, hence sajda sahab became necessary upon him. So if he had sat in the final sitting, he stood for the extra rakat, performed the sajda of the extra rakat, he will add another rakat. Those two that he added will be considered two nafal, and the fard he offered of that prayer will be considered fard, and in the end he will perform sajda sahab. But if he remembers before performing the sajda of the extra rakat, he will sit, perform the salam directly because he had already recited at-tahiyyat, perform sajda sahab, two prostrations of forgetfulness, recite at-tahiyyat till wa rasuluhu durood sharif dua, and complete his namaz by giving salam both sides. Please share this video with your family members, with your friends, with good intentions. Allah Ta'ala grant us all ilm nafi', beneficial knowledge. Ameen. Ya Rabbal Alameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.